Hello, welcome back to another holistic education video. In this video, we'll be continuing our series on the 25 hardest SAT math problems of this year according to Prep Maven. In this video, we'll be looking at problem number 24, which says, two identical rectangular prisms each have a height of 90 centimeters. The base of each prism is a square, and the surface area of each prism is k centimeters squared. If the prisms are glued together along the square base, the resulting prism has a surface area of 92/47 centimeters squared. What is the side length in centimeters of each square base? So let's start off by drawing out what these rectangular prisms would look like. So we'd have a rectangular prism, which would be two squares connected by four rectangles, and we know that the height is 90 centimeters and the side length we don't know, we're trying to find, we'll call it S. So we have two of these, and we know for each one the surface area, which I'll call A subscript S, is K. And then if we glue two of them together, which would look like gluing a second one on the bottom here, now we would have one that has a height of 180 centimeters, and that double-stacked rectangular prism would have a surface area of 92/47. Let's think about how we can use this information to figure it out. Well, let's think about what the equation for this surface area of a rectangular prism is. So if you remember, rectangular prisms have four rectangles, so they'd have four rectangles that look like this, each with a height h and a width of s, where s is the side length of our square, and they'd each have two squares on each side, which would have a side length of s. So the area of a rectangular prism is going to be 4 height times side length plus 2 side length squared. The height times side length is the area of each rectangle. Side length squared is the area of each square. 4 rectangles, 2 squares, that's what it's going to look like. So this is the general equation for the surface area of a rectangular prism. So for the two examples that we have above, let's write that what that would look like. For the single 90 height rectangular prisms, those surface areas would look like 4 times 90 times s plus 2s squared, and they are, according to the problem, equal to the value k. For the double-stacked rectangular prisms, that would look like 4 180s plus 2s squared, and that is, according to the problem, equal to 92/47. We'll rearrange these and simplify these out. So we'll do 2s squared plus, and then 4 times 90, that's 360s equals k. And we have 2s squared plus 180 times 4 is 720s equals 92/47. So now we have two equations that have two variables. And this is, now as you might be able to see, a system of equations. Two equations, two variables, we can solve this. These systems of equations are a little complicated because they have both s terms and s squared terms, but we can subtract this top equation from this bottom equation and cancel out these s squared terms. So if we subtract this equation from this equation, these would cancel out, and then 720s minus 360s would be 360s, and then 92/47 minus k would be 45/47. So now by doing that, we have a much simpler equation to use. I'll rewrite this over here. We have 45/47 k equals 360s. And we can just multiply both sides by this reciprocal, 47 over 45, and here 47 over 45. And these are going to cancel, and we're going to be left with k equals 376s. So now we have found the value of k in terms of s. And this is incredibly useful because if we go back to our original equation for just one of the 90 height rectangular prisms, we have 2s squared plus 360s equals k. But we know that k equals 376s. So instead of putting k here, we can just write 376s. And now we have this equation only in terms of s, and so we can easily solve for the value of s. So we minus 376s from both sides, and we get 2s squared minus 16s equals 0. If we divide both sides by 2 to get rid of this 2 in front of this s squared, we end with s squared minus 8s equals 0. And this, of course, can be very easily factored into s times s minus 8 equals 0. And now it's easy to see in order for this whole thing to be equal to 0, at least one of these two terms has to be equal to 0. So this means that either s equals 0 or s minus 8 equals 0. Now, s equals 0 would mean that we have a rectangular prism with side length of 0. And even though mathematically that might work for this equation, in real life that doesn't make any sense. We can't have a rectangular prism with a side length of 0. So this is not an actual option. So that the only option that actually works in our real world would be s minus 8 equals 0, or in other words, add 8 to both sides, s equals 8. And here we have found our final answer. These rectangular prisms that we have a side length of 8 centimeters. So that is how you go about solving it. You turn these two equations for the surface area of these two different kinds of prisms into a system of equations, and then solve that system's equations and find s equals 8. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.